Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. Oh my gosh, it's been quite the day. If you've been following along on our Facebook and our Instagram, you saw that Teacher Annie, Teacher Michelle, Teacher Dove, and myself were all in Palm Springs for the AIFD Symposium. Did you hear that? I'm having iced coffee today because it's hot here in Portland. Not as hot as Palm Springs. That was hot. Oh, more ice in there. It was very hot, but Portland's kind of hot today. So anyway, we were all in Palm Springs. It was kind of grand fun. Actually, it was very grand fun. I just brought my badge. We all went around looking all special and had our little tags on. Of course, we had the tulip. But I got home today, up at 3 a.m. Oh my gosh, because I knew I had to be home to be alive. And Annie and I were on the same plane, so she was up at 3 a.m. as well. So you have a responsibility today. Keep us awake. Keep us on our toes. Type in their questions, type in their comments, but we need your help because both of us are running on fumes and coffee because we are tired. It's been such an amazing time. Symposium is a very special time. It's a chance for us to get together with so many tulips, so many of you. It's pretty wonderful. A lot of you go on through our program, the basic course and then the advanced course, because your goal is to be an FDI Certified Floral Designer. And that is the first step in the career journey. So we're going to talk about that journey, and I'm going to share a little bit of a recap of what was going on at Symposium so that you can have a behind the scenes picture of it, and we can relive some of the fun. In the studio with me, I told you Annie is here, up all day and looking forward to probably be in bed by 6 or 7. Ditto. And then Jules is keeping us live. She'll be monitoring and watching and making sure. And I've got some pictures to share with you, so she'll be popping those up. So we've got 3 of us in the studio. Then remotely, we have Susie on YouTube. And she's joining us from California this time. She's a jet setter. And then Caledonia is over on Facebook. And I believe she's in town, but I'm not exactly sure. So, it's summertime when people kind of head out and about. Then we've got Teacher Dove, maybe, or he could still be in the airplane. I know he was heading home later today, and so he may be still flying, and we'll be watching it on replay. Teacher Michael is with us. He stayed home to make sure and take care of all of our students. So he has been working diligently to get all of the evaluations done. So all you online students haven't had to wait because he stayed and made sure that all of your submissions were answered in a timely manner. Then David's out there, and he met me at the house when I got home with food, which was wonderful. Because when you travel, you never eat the way you're supposed to. You just are rushing around, and it's not the same. So I was starving when I got home, so he fed me. And then I'm sure he'll be feeding me again tonight because it was so nice to be home and have good food. That was just delightful. I think that's everybody that's with us online today from the team. So now I just need to know who's with me with you all. If you're a tulip, put in your icon. I know we had several graduates and they are now official FDI certified and brand new tulips. So go ahead, put your name, where you're from. That way you can start the collaboration and get to know each other, because that's what makes it so fun when we all go to Symposium. Many of us know each other from the live streams, and so we're already friends, which makes it really fabulous. And I was just amazed at how many of you were there. I think there was about 700 people, so a lot of those were tulips, and it was so great to see you in real life. As we've had so much virtual life, it just takes it another step through. So when Symposium started 60 years ago, this was the 60th anniversary. When Symposium started 60 years ago, the goal was to provide an educational resource and a networking opportunity for the floral industry. And one of the founding members, Jim Hind, was there this year. He was there when they started 60 years ago, and he was there yesterday. Actually, I think he went home on Sunday. But that was so amazing to get to sit down and chat with Jim and hear about the start of AIFD 60 years ago. So when I chatted with him on the very first day, then we had what we call the industry showcase. And we at Floral Design Institute set up a table. We put our pop-up sign on there. We pass out little tulip stickers like I showed you on there, and just stand in one place so that everybody can come find us. I'll show you a picture. It was really fun. Jules, do you have the table picture?
Picture's up.
Yay. Okay, while you're looking at that, I'll tell you, I actually got to make that arrangement this year. Oftentimes I have other students do it, or another teacher. Last year Michael did the table for me. Go ahead and bring it back to me now. But everybody was so busy that I had to do it myself. Oh my gosh, I was just so tired. But it was kind of fun to get to play with so many beautiful tropicals. I had anthurium, heliconia, lobster heliconia, some oncidiums, and great foliages. Oh my gosh, it was just like I was a kid in a candy store. I had so much to work with. And then after you take down the showcase, what do? You take the flowers back to your room. So that great big arrangement sat in my hotel room until I took it apart and brought the container back with me, but left the flowers for the hotel staff because they were still beautiful, but I couldn't take those on the plane. But I sure wasn't going to let them go to waste. So they made my room. So every morning I'd get up and I'd drink my coffee and I'd sit and look at my flowers, and it was like in a little floral paradise. It was pretty fun. So one of the things that I like about Symposium, actually two things that all happen on that very first time. Let me drink some coffee so I stay awake. Is in that showcase, I see everybody because I'm standing at the table. It's pretty obvious. There's a big sign there. It's like, that's where Floral Design Institute is. And so I get tons of selfies, and we take pictures, and we hug, and we shake hands, and we just have a party. That's probably my most favorite part. And then my second favorite part is it's a chance to look at new materials and see what's happening in our industry. And two things that struck me during the showcase was one new product that everybody was clamoring over is the Oasis Renewal Foam. It is totally earth-friendly. It's an eco-choice. It's not microplastics. It's a good product. So we brought home some renewal foam. We've been testing it. We're playing with it. I'm very excited about it. So I thought I'd start with an arrangement using the renewal foam, just so that you can see it actually works very, very similar to midnight foam. There's not a lot of difference. It soaks slower, so you have to be patient. It doesn't soak quite as quickly. I have not used it enough yet to see if it dries out differently than the regular foams, or if it disintegrates. But so far, I've been very happy with it. So this gives us a new option that is sustainable, eco-friendly, all of that. Another thing that I discovered when I was there, there's a lot more attention being paid to flower care and handling, and better products available, better science available. And I had to laugh because it's what we teach in basic floral design. I was checking, I was like, okay, is there new science? Do I need to teach something different? And the science is what we're teaching. So we are current, we are state of the art, removing the lower foliage, no surprises there, not cutting underwater. So if you took flower classes with me 20 years ago, we cut everything underwater. You remember that. It was so laborious. And we'd get out buckets of water, and we'd have buckets of water all over the place so that everybody is cutting underwater. And we used warm water. Now the science is cold water. And we teach cold water, so we are current there. The science has not changed. It's still cold water is your friend. So I love the fact that everything still is current in our program. I didn't have to go, oh my gosh, we got to fix this, we got to change it. The key is to have, just like we teach you in class, you've got to have, oh, I made that. See how they're the same height? Wrong. I got to cut that down a little bit so that they are varied, because I don't want them to be the same. So the things that we teach, using flower food, using the hydrating solution like Quick Dip, using an anti-transparent like Crowning Glory, all still current, considered to be state-of-the-art. So that was nice to know that we're doing it right, because that's what we want. We want to do it right. In the designs, one of the things that struck me is so much of it is moving into parallel vertical insertion. So like we teach in the advanced class and in week 3, where we have multiple binding points and we do parallel insertion. We don't do everything with that central binding point, not radial. And so this is, I believe, going to become even more popular. I saw so much of it on the stage shows that people were working vertically and very transparent. There was always space so that you had room for air, and they didn't crowd it so tight as a massed decorative design. So in the basic course, when we start with classic design, you're doing more of the massed look that is for a decorative purpose. And then we move into the more contemporary with the parallel, the transparency, the multiple binding points, that vegetative style. Then that I think you'll continue to see happening, and we'll be continuing to teach, that's for sure, because it is the way of the world. So, Annie, Jules, what's going on out there? Do we have anybody, or am I just talking to myself?
There's a lot of people. On Facebook we have Scott, David, not your David, David. I think he's on YouTube. Well, actually, no, it is your David.
My David.
We have Michael, Debbie, Wayne, Sherry, Linda in the UK, Andrea, Rick, Debbie in Ontario, Gio, Joe, who is local-ish here, but she's in Wyoming for her husband's high school reunion. And then we have Gina in California, Becca from Denmark, Chris and Harmony from Washington, Acacia from Texas, and Tracy. Do you have YouTube, or I have that?
Yeah. There's Christy from Tacoma, Floral Sunshine, Dennis. There's Robert Miller. There's David. Hi, David. Heidi. Leanne from the Netherlands. Rose from sunny SoCal. There's Carol's Flowers from Central Florida. Rose Steady, another Leanne. Nicole from Delaware.
Rose, I'm glad you joined us. I hope you are feeling better. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing your ticket with Annie. It was really fun to be able to have her join us for the dinner. So I'm sorry you missed it, but I really appreciate your sharing, and I'm glad you're with us today because that tells me you're still alive, and we'd love to have you feeling better. So, yeah. And those of you that are just joining us, today I'm talking about our courses and how to become an FDI Certified Floral Designer and how we teach and what it does and all of that. But we're also doing a recap of just an overview of the Symposium for AIFD because we were just there. And I have some information to share about Geo later. So Geo, you have to stay on because everybody will be giving you accolades, but it's on my agenda down a little bit. So, but I do have you on my list, so don't go away. Everybody stay tuned because we do have some fun pictures to share with everyone about what was going on. So basing techniques is still very popular, and it can be basing in a pave, or it can be basing in pillowing, or it can be terracing. So all the things that we teach, it was so grand to see that we are on trend and that we are doing the right thing. I did have a really wonderful thing that I found out that made me oh so very happy. When you want to become a certified floral designer, there are steps. So you complete the basic course, duh. So you get the basic course done. Then you go and you do the advanced course. You do get a basic certificate. And I think I've got it here. There we go. So there's a basic certificate. I remembered to pull out my props. Then once you've got that, you go on to the advanced course and you get your advanced certificate. Okay. And yes, if you are already experienced and you're looking to just expand your skill set, expand your toolbox, get new inspiration, you can jump straight to advanced and get that certificate. But if you want the full shebang, you do the basic and the advanced, and the two of those together give you the title FDI Certified Floral Designer. So if you jump straight to advanced, in order to get the FDI Certified Floral Designer, you have to test out of the basics. So there is an option to do that. If you've already had your training, you are just wanting to go on to advanced and get your FDI Certified Floral Designer status, you can do that. Anyway, once you have that FDI certified, then you get this handy dandy pin. Let's see if I can get it into the thing. Does it show pretty well? It glares.
Yeah, right
there we
there.
go.
So
Got
hold
it?
there for a moment.
Okay.
You can possibly bring it a little closer if you wanted to try. Oh, there we go. And then hold on. Nice.
Yay, Leanne uses the close-up. Oh, that's my challenge. Oh, man.
You did a good job.
Thank you. So you get that FDI certified pin, and then that qualifies you if you want to continue on and get dual international certification with the American Institute of Floral Designers. You can take their online testing for CFD. It's only $174. And what I found out at Symposium is we have a success rate that is unbelievable. It's well over 90% of our students pass, and everybody was going crazy, going, oh my gosh, the FDI team is amazing. They have all these students that pass the test and become CFD. And I thought that was just normal. I thought that that's what schools were supposed to do. But it turns out we're pretty special. We're hot snot. I was so excited. I was like, yay! So if you want to become the whole shebang, hang with the cool kids, because that's what we do. During the symposium, they do lots of different classes and shows and networking, and they do testing. So we'll come back to that. But one thing they did this year that was very special is they did a public installation. If you've been to Palm Springs, they have that great big huge Marilyn Monroe statue. I mean, it's enormous. and they filled it with flowers. It was spectacular. Now, obviously in the desert at 111 degrees, they couldn't use fresh flowers. So it was all done with beautiful silk flowers. And Jules has a picture of that to share with you.
It's up.
Okay, there, doesn't she look grand? Oh my gosh, I even took the time to walk down. I walked, it's only from the convention center, it's 0.6 miles, so it's just a little bit over half a mile, but it was 110 degrees. I mean, it was insane.
Are you
But
in this photo?
but there was a shade. I don't know if I gave you the one that I'm standing by myself if I'm there.
Yeah.
No, okay, it was probably the group that did because that's the group that worked on it, and I didn't work on it. I was doing other things while they did that, so I didn't get to, but it was spectacular. So back up to me. I'm gonna switch over on to another design. I'll finish this one off camera. Jules will get a professional photo of it, and we'll get that posted in the Tulip Bunch, and then throughout the weekend, we'll get them posted every place else. But I just wanted to use this design to talk about how we teach it in basic and advanced, and that transparency, parallel systems, upright design seems to be trending strong, and you'll probably be seeing more of that as time goes on. So I'm going to set that one aside.
While you do that, I wanted to let you know that Teacher Michelle is on Facebook, as well as Celeste, Margaret, Joy, Kim, Christina, Dylan, and Eulogio. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right.
Okay, so Michelle, you made it home. Yay! Michelle flew out just shortly after Annie and I did, so she got maybe 2 hours more sleep if she was lucky, but she's probably exhausted too because she actually worked harder than any of us. She was having to work from 7 in the morning until 9 at night, many of the days. It was amazing, and some days it went on till like 10 or 11 at night, and it always started at 7 in the morning. It's like, oh my gosh. I only started at 7 in the morning twice. Then I switched to 9 in the morning because I was lazy, and it was wonderful. Oh my gosh. Another trend that I saw quite a bit was the hand tie, which you've seen me do hand ties on camera many times, and I'll do another one. But what I'm finding, the hand ties are evolving and changing. Oftentimes you see me do this big rounded one. What I noticed was more of a flat surface, so wider and flatter, still done in that spiral hand tie, sometimes with a structure inside, sometimes not. When there's a structure inside, oftentimes it would be woven and with the yarn that is drill driven, wrapped, so does this look much like our advanced class nest? Now this one is done as a bouquet holder, but it's very similar to the nest that we teach in the advanced class. I thought, oh my gosh, I guess we're on trend. And so when we teach you to use the yarn and how to wrap that and use the drill to do so and how to base it, they were doing so much of that. I just had to laugh because it was like, okay, I like the fact that it's okay. Then I noticed quite a bit of color variation, and it was kind of two sides. There were some people that did just monochromatic with a lot of green, mainly monochromatic, and then others went with big, bold color harmonies. So where the base is in the blues and greens, to get it to big and bold, you would look at your blues and greens and go direct opposite into your fire colors. And when you combine the two, that's going to give you your boldest color contrast because they're directly opposite of each other. So it's going to make it pop like mad. So again, basic floral design color theory, not anything new. If you do want your own color wheel, they're free. You just have to go online and order it. It's in the shopping pages, so go order it. It's digital, it's not a hard copy. And then we'll send it to you. You can print as many as you want. You can make it as big as you want. You can laminate it. Thank you, Michael. But if you want one, just go get it. It's easy. But if I finish this out then with flowers, thinking about the color harmony, I might do, let's see. I don't know here. We'll give it a shot. If I did marigolds, isn't that beautiful? Now, the marigolds I've already denuded. You notice there's no foliage whatsoever, because if you leave the foliage on, it stinks. Yeah. Well, you might like that fragrance, and so you would say, Leanne, that doesn't stink. I don't like that fragrance. I say it stinks. And so since I'm the one doing it, I get to say it stinks. But if you're doing it, you can say it doesn't stink. It's really up to you. And if you don't like them at all, don't use them. But when I learned that they don't stink if you take the leaves off, I started loving them again, because I've always thought that they are such a glorious flower that how could you not love something so bright and happy and orange? I mean, they're just fabulous. But the fragrance just always made me not love them. Once I learned, just take that foliage off. It's like, okay, got it. Now, if you want other tips like that, little tidbits that you just go, I didn't know that, go to YouTube and there's a playlist. Susie in Caledonia, if you'll put that in there, there's a playlist that's called Tulip Tuesdays, and they're all super short. They're like a minute to 2 minutes. They're just like, boom, over, but they're fun facts and tips for design. So in there is the marigold tip. It says, just take those leaves off and you won't stink. Well, not you won't stink, they won't stink. You might stink, who knows? But we won't talk about that. Okay. So picking up the fire colors, isn't that fun how it makes that pop? It just explodes with color. Now I could, what do I want to do? Maybe I'll just stop there. No, I'll add one more, because these roses are so beautiful. And it is radiant, is that correct, Annie?
Radiant.
Radiant. And these have held really well. Now, they've been in the cooler, I will say that, so I can't lie and just say, oh, they lasted for weeks. But they have lasted for weeks in the cooler, and they're still kind of pretty, which is kind of surprising. And I'm going to go ahead and just cut these stems down, because I don't need them to be so long. Now, when I first made this, I did the yarn wrap on the handle, because I wanted to show it as a bouquet that you might glue orchids on the top and not have stems, but I didn't want to glue today. I wanted to have the brighter colors, so I'm ending up covering up my beautiful handle. But since it's yarn, it can just go in the water and it'll be totally fine. Once the flowers fade, you can pull it out, remove the flowers, and dry that handle. And you can use this again and again and again, which is another tip that a lot of the show designers were speaking about, is reusing, repurposing, recycling, sustainable design. And so this is the type of thing that you can make it, sell it, they can bring it back, you can make it again, you can bring it back, you can make it again, and A, you get repeat purchasing, and B, it's a boon for the sustainability and earth conscious and all of those things. But just a little pop there. Don't you like that? I love that one.
Adorable.
That was one of my favorites. Sure, I can try it. It might be too big for that. Yeah, it's a little too big, I think. But
Since you guys are messing with that camera, Joe wanted to know, Leanne, if you wore every shoe that you packed at Symposium.
I did. And do I have to say how many I packed?
Fine.
I had a really big suitcase, the biggest that you can take on that I can lift. And it had 46 pounds because you can't go over 50, and so it was 46 pounds. And of that great big, half was clothes and half was shoes. And I was really proud of myself because I wore everything except for one shirt. One shirt I didn't wear, and I did wear all the shoes, and it was kind of fun. I liked it. In the hand ties, I'm going to go ahead and do another one now, done just a little more in the traditional spiral rather than an armature. And what I noticed in the hand ties, that lower and wider, okay, and then also looser, you know, that very compact Martha Stewart wad that was so hot all through the 80s and 90s. It's still there, but no, that's not it. It's more casual, and materials can be almost like they're foraged, but they were commercially grown. They were all from farms and wholesalers and such, but it gave the illusion of being just something from out in the garden. So like this one, golden rain tree would be indicative of the types of things I was seeing. So it's just kind of gangly and big and somewhat obnoxious. I'm going to remove some of this. I'll save it because it would be pretty in a littler arrangement, but I need the stem length for this design.
Close-up of that?
Sure. These would be great for the close-up because there's enough of them to really see.
Yeah. Just hang on, that's perfect.
Okay.
Love
Well, I've been practicing with the close-up camera.
it. Very good, thank
You're
you.
doing good.
Oh my goodness. You know, I will have to say that coming to do a live with 2 hours of sleep isn't my first choice of things to do, but I'm glad you're here. I am really glad you're here. So while I work on this one, we have a couple more pictures I want to share with you. One of the big reasons that we all go to Symposium is induction. Induction is when our people who have gone through, and they can be FDI Certified Floral Designers, then they go to the next step and take the online test with AIFD, and they become CFD. So then you have that dual international certification, CFD, FDI. Then the last step, what do I want to put in here? I think I'll do this. The last step is taking the in-person test, which is called the PFDE, but it's an in-person design test. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, I'll be perfectly honest. It's create 5 arrangements in 4 hours. And we teach a class called Designing for Competition and Evaluation that is just for that particular reason, because it's a very difficult test. It's a very difficult test. And you take the test and you have to wait a month to find out if you pass or not. Oh. And then you have to wait a year to be inducted. Well, I got to be 11 months after that. So it's a total of a year to be inducted. And Teacher Michelle and Teacher Dove work with the evaluations, and they work with the induction and the testing and all of that. So they go in days ahead of time to prep everything. But then on induction night, that's when the people are awarded. And everybody gets dressed up, and this year the theme was Disco in the Desert. And so it was bright and sparkly and lots of disco balls, and it was just kind of insanely fun. And so for that one, just so you know, I wore knee-high rhinestone cowboy boots. Yeah, I
Not in
had.
the photo.
No, I didn't. I should have given you that photo. Well, guys, go to my Facebook page. You'll see them there.
Dennis said he's been posting several of your shoes in the tulip.
I know, he's been very good. Okay, if you go to the Tulip Bunch, he's got my shoes in there. If you go to my personal page, I do have my boots on that one, because I said it's a sparkle boot kind of day. And then if you bring up the picture of the gala night, or the induction night party,
It's up.
okay, so there you can see Teacher Michelle, Teacher Annie, Teacher Dove, and myself, all sparkling and bold and bright. It doesn't get much more glittery than that. We were dropping sequins every place we walked. Let's go ahead and pull it back up here then. But it was pretty much fun. Actually, it was way fun. So we were all excited because we had graduates that were inducted. And, you know, we were so proud. I was like, oh my gosh, it makes my heart sing. So we had students that were inducted, and I got one picture that I've got there that I want to show because many of you know Christina because she's been on live with us twice. And this year Christina was inducted. So picture.
It's up.
Okay.
Speaking of Christina, Christina had a question, I think for you. Which main stage presentation was your favorite? I guess it could be a question for anybody else who wants to reply on that thread as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if anybody was there and has an opinion as to which main stage was favorite, type it in there. Let us know. And is Christina's picture there still?
Oh, nope, but I'll
Put it back up for a second because I want everyone to look closely at her boots because they're just like mine.
Oh, yeah.
She had the exact same boots. She came in, I was wearing them, and she's like, oh my gosh, I have those boots. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we have matching boots. Good taste, you know how it is. It works. So, okay, go ahead and back to me as we spiral around here. Okay. So I'm just building. And notice how I'm grouping some things. So I had all my sunflowers together. Now I'm putting the dahlias all together and then turning. Because grouping is still strong. You always think, when does that end? I don't know, because it's still happening. So you're going to want to practice your grouping, your color blocking, all of that. Okay. Now, once you are inducted, you get another pin. Let's put that up there. So this is the AIFD pin.
There you go, hold it steady.
Okay.
Can you see? There we go.
Excellent. So Christina has her very own now. Our teachers have it. We all wear our pin proudly because it tells the world that you are the best of the best. There's really only, I think, about 1,000 AIFD members in the world. Yeah, it's a prestigious organization. It doesn't take everybody because you really have to be the best of the best. And so it takes a lot of effort to pass that testing. You have to study, but I find that since we teach from the format that AIFD uses at the very beginning with the elements and principles and the theories of design, I'm going to do another dahlia over here. It makes it easier, not easy, easier for our graduates to succeed simply because they are watching and testing you on exactly what we've been teaching you. And then when you do the designing for competition and evaluation class, then that gives you that little edge up to make sure that you are walking the stage and are inducted because you did the work, you did the study, definitely. So you can see I'm letting it just keep getting a little wider, but I kept it flat in the center. I might pull it up a little bit, but I don't want it to come tall. I want to keep it flat and wide because that's a little more on trend with what I was seeing on the main stage. And so many different ones. Now the stage bouquets would oftentimes be this big around. I mean, they were huge because you have to be able to see it from the back of the room. You know, show it big, say it loud so the back of the room can see and hear. Now they also do have great big supersized TV screens up so that you can see it from wherever you are and get a close-up view. But, you know, you always want to make it be more, bigger, better than anybody else's. So they really do kind of go over the top on everything. So.
Yeah, I actually have a picture of, or a video that I can post in Tulip Bunch of one of the big, wide, it almost looked like a flat umbrella, you know that one?
Yes, wasn't that one beautiful?
Yes.
Okay, so
I was
yeah,
like,
let's add it
yeah.
into the Tulip Bunch so that they can see it. So now I'm adding in the chain and letting it just come out. And what I'm doing is using it to balance the yellow across without using the same material because I wanted to keep my colors and my blocking and my varieties all together. So it gave it a little more contemporary version of the hand tie. Okay. Then, what am I going to back it with? Maybe a little bit of aspidistra. Leaf manipulation is still very much on trend. So the same things we teach you in the advanced class with your leaf manipulation, all the different techniques in there, that's still so on trend. I saw many variations and love it because I really like leaf manipulation. I think it adds such style to a design, a little bit of creative flair rather than just, you know, there's a leaf, you know, it just, instead, you just keep tucking it in and keeping those stems all going the same direction. Same thing, tying it together, double checking that I have all my mechanics covered, and I do, but I would like a leaf over here, so I have to turn it a little bit further, there we go, and then add one more in, okay. And then just tying it off with a bit of bind wire. So far, what we've covered is many of the techniques from the basic and the advanced class were present and there. The new product from the Oasis company, Renewal Foam, that is a sustainable eco-choice, was well received and I think will have a major impact in the future for our floral industry. Transparent design, what we teach you in the contemporary versions of class, with the parallel systems, vertical growth, more of a vegetative look, on trend. The hand tie, some with the armature, with big bold colors, and others with just the spiral, but elongated and flatter as opposed to domed. So I'll cut these stems down, get this ready for the photo for y'all, and then it'll get into the tulip bunch, and then we'll spread it out after that. Now, another trend that I noticed, I gotta show this first, okay? When they did the presentation bouquets that were thank yous to all the people, so like the designers on stage or the workroom people, they created a form, much like the purse that I taught the other day, so that you had this form, and then they just glued flowers on it. It was Ace that made this one, and he probably made
Oh my gosh.
100 bouquets. I mean, he was doing this forever, and they were exquisite. And how so easy, because when you're on the stage and you've got a little gift bag and you've got a bouquet and you're trying to get off stage and you're all mic'd up, it was so easy because you could just hold it like a purse or even just put it on their arm. Isn't that great?
They were so great with those tropicals. They're so long lasting.
Okay, I hope Gio is still with us because we're getting to that stage. Okay. A trend that was over the top as far as I'm concerned, because it was like every single designer incorporated it. I don't know that there wasn't a designer that did it, is the tatami technique. Okay. And we've taught that. It's not new, it's just that it's really on trend right now. It's super popular. And this is the tatami technique that Gio did. And Gio, would you type in there how many feet? I know each segment was 6 feet, but how many segments did you end up having to make? There was a lot of tatami in that display. So Gio was one of our tulips who was inducted last year. So he is fully AIFD certified. And his friend, another of our tulips who was inducted last year, Amber, did a main stage program. It was a trio, but Amber was amazing. And it was on window displays. And they did 4, winter, spring, summer, fall. How cool is that? Duh. And then in one of them, and I think you've got a picture of the window display.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the autumn display that Amber did. And if you look closely, you see the tatami winding through there. And it was exquisite because it gave the whole design line. Go ahead and bring it back. And I should have tested this before I came up here. But this turns on, but I don't know how. It does turn on, it lights up, I promise you, because there's lights here. Oh, there we go.
Gio said that each of them were 6 feet, and he created 12 of them.
So 72 feet of tatami, and he's fast with it, but still, it takes a long time to do 72 feet. And then the lights are added in so that in the window display, when it was turned on, the lights chased through and really gave movement to the whole display. It draws the eye in and made it so fabulous. It was just grand. So that's the tatami that Gio made. And then the display that Amber made, which is very exciting. And then one more step there that I think is just too fun. And you're going to have to, after this is done, not now, don't leave me because I still have more to share. We are just getting going here. But after the live, go to the Floral Design Institute Facebook page. Okay? And if you're not a Facebooker, you can still go there. You don't have to be a member because we keep it open and public. But go to the Floral Design Institute Facebook page, and pinned at the top is a video that Sarah created for us. And it's a video in front of Amber's display. So you can see the lights, you can see it all there because it's a video and she's talking. And it's a testimonial. It was it made me cry. It was just like, oh my gosh. But she did a testimonial about how wonderful it is to be an FDI tulip. And I felt like I had a triple whammy because there was Gio's work, there was Amber's work, and then there's Sarah. And she's starting a campaign, hashtag tag a tulip. How cool is that? So I'll put it on the screen there. So it's hashtag tag a tulip and create your own testimonial And that way we can all see. And I was like, oh, Sarah, thank you so much. But you'll see the whole video on the Floral Design Institute Facebook page. And I invite you to make one as well. Annie, what you got there?
Can you actually bring that lighted garland back up and tell us, is it, I mean, I can't tell from here either, well, maybe because I lost my glasses somewhere along the way, but is that made with, is that flat cane and bind wire?
It's flat cane, bind wire, and then little like fairy lights that are on a copper strand. I can try in here and see.
Sure. Hang on, let's see here.
Let's see, what's the best way to show
Like
it?
twinklish lights or?
Yeah, kind of turn it flat. So there you go. Can you see it, Annie, okay? You think it's sort of?
My
Can you
video's a
pull it back
little
little
delayed.
farther? I know, we're really close up for those pins today.
Okay, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, and it's so wonderful because it's very pliable. So you can manipulate it in the display to go exactly where you want it to be and to draw your line through. And then the lights also are remote. So you don't have to go and push you don't have to go and push the button like I did. You can actually just hand and stand there and push the button on the remote and all of them turn on. Magic! How cool is that? I was just like, yay. I didn't take Amber's remote though, because she's got the other pieces that she packed in a box to take back home with her. I think she's in Chicago. Gio, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she's in Chicago. And so she took them back home to use again, but she let me have this one so that I could show you how cool it was.
Do you know who's making that flat cane or where? When we
I
get
don't know.
it? Okay.
It could be Accent Decor or it could be Fitz, but I'm not sure. Because it's a popular one. I think you can find it at craft stores too, so that it goes. Another version of the tatami, this is done with steel grass, and this was a piece that is left over from a workshop that Bart Hassam did, and he did an amazing on-stage program and used so much steel grass and so much tatami technique. And the thing that makes it nice, I folded it out straight so that you could see, and I'll see if I can get it up here so you can maybe, there we go, see how it's got bind wire
Oh, yeah.
lashing it together, okay? But once you have that bind wire, since it's a wire, you can manipulate it so you have a more undulated movement, so it's not flat, which just makes the whole thing way better. It was just like, oh my goodness. Now, one of the beautiful things that Bart did, all of his work was super intricate, super big, super time consuming, but it looked great on stage because it was so big. So he maybe had 50 feet, I'm making that up, I don't know, of tatami, but the AIFD always brings in a group of FFA students, so high school students that are in the FFA flower culture programs, and they bring them in to let them be part of Symposium, meet florists, mingle, get to know us. A lot of their teachers use our videos for class, and so they all know me, so they're all coming up, yay, it's Leanne! That was so much fun. And we got to play, but Bart let all of them, and I think there were like 45 of them, he let them all come in and he taught them the technique, and then they got to do it. And so some of the designs that he would have never got done because it would take too long, he had 45 sets of hands that he had the patience to work with them. What else you got there, Annie?
Actually, I wanted you to back up really quick because there's so many acronyms in our industry. Can you tell our viewers what FFA is?
You're right. FFA is Future Farmers of America. David was FFA. He even has the jacket. I think he was state secretary or something like that. Actually, he has two jackets. And then, no, one was your dad's maybe. I don't remember, whatever. But his dad was FFA. And then David was FFA. And I was FFA while I was in high school, which of course, according to David's dad, was when FFA just went down the tube because they start letting women in. Oh, girls and FFA, can you believe it? The end of the world. But yes, there's a lot of women in the FFA, and their annual convention is usually in August, I think, in Indianapolis. And I got to go one time. It was really, really wonderful. And one of our students, Mary Ellen Vetter, who just retired as a high school teacher in the FFA floriculture, her team won state and got to go to Indianapolis and compete. And she always brought her teams over to Floral Design Institute once a year to do some training with us. It was always grand fun. So, Tatami. Now, one thing that I discovered, another trend, is, and you've seen it, it's not a surprise, but water tubes galore. I mean, I can't tell you how many designers were doing water tubes. So, it's sustainable, all those things. Then the discussion was, do you do plastic ones? Oh, plastic bad. Or do you do glass ones and drop them all the time and break them? And the general consensus was plastic reused, so that you don't use one time, but you don't end up breaking with the glass ones, was sort of the way it went. But what I found was interesting, and a technique that I learned that I had never done before, and I'm like, well, that's interesting. Why have I never ever done that before? And that was that they would take the tubes and tatami those, so that they would be in a series. Now this one I tatamied using bind wire, okay? These I tied on with the black bullion wire so that it matched the black frame. So if I was to do this, I would take black bind wire, or bullion wire, because I don't have any black bind wire. It does exist, but I don't have any. So I wanted black, so I used the bullion. And I take it and I fold it in half, and I fold it in half again so that I don't have to wrap as many times. I can do it faster, and I just kind of twist it together so that it's a little bit more together. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to end up perfect when it's done. And then tubes already filled with water, okay? Lash it together, and then I take, now actually I can just leave that one over there. Yeah, just stop. Got to double it. I was like, where did my end go? Double it over. Okay. Then twist it, and I twist the same number of times. So I think I did 4 there. I don't know if I lost track. But that way, if you always do the same twist, the same distance will be there. So 4 times, 2, 3, and 4. And then you bring in your last one. Twist it. 2, 3, 4. And you can go as many tubes as you want. I'm going to stop there because we don't have all day. Well, I suppose we do have all day, but I'm going to fall asleep. So we do not have all day. And then I take another bit and bring it around so that I have an end on both ends that I can then lash to the frame. Whoa, come back in there. See, that's where glass would break. Find where I want to put them. I think I'm going to put it right there. Okay. And then just lashing it to the frame. opposite side. And so then you can do clusters of flowers, which gives you a whole different look than the individual tubes. A little more contemporary look. I have to clean that up, flip them off, get rid of my ends. Then you can go back in and add your flowers. And it's easier if you give it a little cut so that this hole is bigger. Brown that, and brown.
Those are the cutest little yellow flowers. They're local, huh?
They are. It says Heliopsis, and they were local grown. I'm going to swap it to a taller one here. There we go. I like that better. And then do the shorter one over here. There we go. And then you can go back and just add flowers as you want here and there. So now, after all the education and classes are done, there's always a leadership banquet. One more thing, just to get done. I'll be finishing this off camera because I want to finish the last little bit here. I don't want to waste your time. But the leadership dinner is another big gala. And for this one, I had gold rhinestone shoes. So I had the silvery glitter boots, and then this one I had gold. Pull up the leadership. You can see Teacher Annie, Teacher Dove, Teacher Michelle, and myself. For that one, the decor was purple, and the theme was shine like a diamond, and so we were all kind of glittery again. So there we go. Then one last thing that I have to share with you is there was one more thing that happened while we were all there, which was kind of exciting. So the steps to becoming a certified floral designer is you start with basic, do your advanced, become FDI certified. Take the online test with AIFD, get your dual international certification, CFD, FDI. Take the test in person, pass, get inducted, become AIFD. Then once you've been AIFD for 21 years, you qualify to be a laureate. And it was my honor this year to get my laureate pin, which I was pretty excited. Both David and I became laureate members this year because we were inducted 21 years ago. And it seems like it was just yesterday, but it was just 21 years ago. Don't forget, pop over to the Floral Design Institute Facebook page. Watch Sarah's video. You'll see Amber's display. You can see Gio's Tatami woven through there. And then I challenge you to hashtag tag a tulip and post a testimonial. That way we all can see what you do as you do something you love. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to go home and I'm not even going to say take a nap. I'm going to eat a little bit and I'm going to bed. But I'll see you all next week. And have a fabulous rest of your week. Bye for now.